Welcome back. If you are just joining us tonight, Don Kerrigan is here with us in the studio. And Don, last week you got the chance to sit down with Maine's independent Senator Angus King to talk about a wide range of topics.
We did. We talked about Greenland, as you just saw, but we also talked about his role in and that of the whole Maine delegation and others in Congress about the continuing controversy over ICE's surge to arrest illegal immigrants in Maine and elsewhere. We sat down with Senator King Friday before the latest shooting that happened in Minneapolis and other events, but his views have not changed.
I don't object to federal law enforcement. I don't object to getting people out of our society who are dangerous criminals.
But Senator King says he thinks the current ICE operations in Maine have gone beyond that.
The press release that I read from them said we're going to stop these people from terrorizing our cities. The terrorizing that's going on today in Portland, Maine isn't from criminals on the street, it's from the tactics of ICE.
King, who is an independent but caucuses with Democrats in the Senate, says he's heard from mayors and many other people and believes the tactics of ICE need to change.
I've never in my life seen law enforcement people wearing masks. That just isn't America for me, and no identification. People shouldn't be fearful in their homes, and the idea that ICE can break down your door without a warrant and come in, that's grossly unconstitutional and wrong that they should even be thinking that way.
Based on the population division politically, maybe it's about half the population, who is probably all for ICE coming in to round up illegal immigrants. Are they wrong?
Well, I think everybody would support rounding up the worst of the worst, if that's truly the motivation, but they don't have to do it the way they're doing it.
And that, he says, has caused fear in southern Maine cities. And are those folks who are fearful, are a lot of them fearful because they too are illegal, or are they just afraid of being swept up in a net?
I think it's the latter. I think even people who have some kind of status of asylum or some other legal status, green card, are still uneasy because the net seems to be much wider than the worst of the worst. And that's what's disturbing.
Now, after the weekend shooting in Minneapolis, the issue of ICE is about to land right in the middle of the U.S. Senate.
That's going to be a big deal this week.
Where the budgets for Homeland Security and several other cabinet-level departments are coming to a vote as one big package.
So the question is whether there will be one vote on the whole package or whether ICE will be moved out separately.
After the latest shooting, King said Sunday that he will support Democrats' efforts to split off the Homeland Security budget and have a separate vote on funding ICE.
Because of the rules in the Senate, they're going to need 60 votes. And they're going to need 7 or 8 members of the Democratic caucus.
Which means that, just like the long debate in the fall over the government shutdown, King may have to cast a pivotal vote. I suspect the Republicans look at you as a generally Democratic vote, but you do work with Republicans on some legislation.
Frequently.
So are you considered a swing vote?
I think sometimes. It depends. It depends on the issue. And I'm working with a group of bipartisan group to try to solve this Affordable Care Act extended tax credits. There are 7 or 8 of us, both parties, and so I guess I would answer. I would say yes, I do.
And in this election year, when he is not running for anything, King says he will stay out of one debate. Your Maine Senate colleague Susan Collins is going to be under fierce attack by the Democrats, who staunchly opposed to President Trump. Will you endorse a candidate in that race?
I traditionally, I endorsed Susan Collins in 2014. I stayed out in 2020, and I suspect I'll stay out this time. I have a policy that I adopted when I first came to the Senate of not campaigning against a sitting colleague, not only in Maine, but anywhere in the country, and I've abided by that. So I'm gonna let the people of Maine make that decision. They don't need my help. You can see that
that whole interview with Senator King on our live streaming service, News Center Maine Plus. It should be up there now if you want to see it. As for Senator Collins, she told us that she talked very recently with the Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Noem, urged her to pause the ICE surge in Minneapolis and in Maine. She wants their enforcement more targeted just on the so-called worst of the worst illegal immigrants, and that she wants an independent investigation of the shooting in Minneapolis. Samantha, this issue is changing almost hour to hour, going into the Senate later this week. They'll start debate on how they're going to deal with all of this budget. It's complicated.
Absolutely. Lots to unpack there, but thanks for helping us understand it a little bit more.